Yo, what's up, boys? Welcome to a new video. So in this video, we'll be doing a Woundwalker Monk guide focusing on PvP, as Season 2 is right around the corner. So let's just get into it. First thing we're going to look at is going to be the stats. Nothing really changed. We're still going to be going Versatility, Mastery, Haste, and then Critical Strike. Mastery did get buffed as we see in this screenshot. It got buffed by 35%, so it's just a really huge stat at this point. But I'm still going to be going around 10% haste, as I thought that was the sweet spot last season for not being energy starved all the time. So it's really what you're comfortable with haste wise, and then stack the rest into mastery. And then of course there's going to be versatility in every gear, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, that's the stats. We go versatility, mastery, haste, and then crit as our least favorite stat. Next thing we're going to talk about real quick is going to be the races. Again, Orc is best for Monk, as the stun reduction is still huge. We mainly die in stun, so that's where the danger actually lures. Second best is probably going to be Gnome. Frost mages and other castles still spam brute you, and having a freedom for that is really huge. After that, it's kind of up to opinion, but I would probably say human, as you do have a 30-second quicker trinket. Doesn't apply to everything though. And after that, it's probably between Dwarf, Orange Dwarf, and Night Elf, as the Night Elf ability still is really strong. But yeah, Orc is the way to go, and then it doesn't really matter what you go after that. Now we're gonna go over the gear. So we talked about stats, so we know what kind of gear we want, what stats we want on it. It's first mastery, and then it's first haste. More specifically, if we talk about tier sets, let's figure out if we want 2 or 4 or nothing at all. The 2 set is your spells and abilities have a chance to activate Winning Streak, increasing damage of your Rising Sun Kick and Spinning Crane Kick by 3%, stacking up to 10 times. Rising Sun Kick and Spinning Crane Kick then have a 50% chance to remove Winning Streak. So that's 2 set. Already sounds decently enough. We gotta remember it is halved in PvP, so it's 1.5% stacking up, but it's a constant ramp up of damage, which baseline sounds pretty good to us. Then 4 set is Fist of Fury applies to 1 stack of Winning Streak when cast, and when finished channeling completely, the damage of your next Fist of Fury is increased by 8% per stack when Winning Streak is removed. So here it's going to be 4% per stack. Again, sounds pretty good. Like, Fist of Fury is a big hitting ability for us. Rising Sun Kick is not. Spinning Crane Kick is decent. But it's a constant ramp up of damage, which sounds a lot better than our previous tier set for sure. But I have opened the PTR on my account here, so let's see how often Winning Streak goes off and how much damage it actually does. If I go over to tier, you can see I have both 2 and 4 set on this character. So if I hit, you can see I already got 3 stacks of Winning Streak. So it's actually really often that this buff applies. If I just hit normally, I'm at 4 stacks now. I get 1 here, and then I get 1 when it's completely over. 7 stacks. And there's a 50% chance when I use my Spinning Crane Kick and Rising Sun Kick for it to go off. And at max stats, it's automatically going off. So you can see here, now we have 80% increased. And we can do a Fist of Fury. And we can pair it with Transfer the Power, having a 10 of those as well, and a Fast Fist, and it's going to do huge amounts of damage. I have a clip that can showcase it real quick here. So as you saw in that clip, it's actually insane amount of damage that Fist of Fury with full stacks, full Transfer the Power, and a Fast Fist can do. It looks like so far it can 100 to 0 someone. You will see how it does on actual live, but yeah, I recommend 2 set and 4 set for now. The only thing that's kind of holding it back, of course, is stats are not great. We are, as we said, Mastery Haste. The head is decent. That's Master Haste. 2 good stats for us. Then we have shoulders, which are a haste, but mainly crit. That's kind of bad. We have chest that's haste and then crit. That's okay. We got a main there that's crit. We have haste verse. That's decent. So we have a 2 set completely fine with us. And then we have legs that's verse crit. So it's not optimal, but I still think just because of how much damage potential there is, and the constant ramp up that we're actually going to go for both 2 and 4 set. So next thing we're going to talk about is going to be our talents. And I want to say first that it seems like Conduit of Celestials is just by far the best hero talent. So there's no real reason to talk about Shadow Pants. I'm not going to do it in this video. Nothing changed with what you take in here. So you don't need to worry about that. It's still the same talents we go. But yeah, it's only Conduit. It's all about Conduit. It does the most damage. It has the best defensive. And it's just better in every single way. So that's what we're going to focus on here. A little bit has changed coming into this new patch with talents for Windwalker Monks. On the left side, it's pretty much the same. We go Detox whenever we need Detox, for example against the Hunter Silence or against Rogue Poisons diseases. Otherwise, you could go with Chi Wave, you could go with Vivicious Vivification, you can go with Chi Proficiency. There's a lot here that's, you know, up to your opinion. What do you prefer to play with? This is really what I like to play with most of the time. Moving on to the right side, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. This is what I currently play, and you can see down here in the right corner, we got a new talent called Slicing Winds, and this absolutely chunks people health. This does like baseline, if it doesn't crit, probably like 20 to 30% health, and if it crits, it doubles that. So yeah, it does a lot of damage, and you definitely want to take it every single time, even though it replaces Flying Serpent Kick, and if you're fighting against mages or other casters that's kind of hard to get to, I would still recommend Slicing Winds as it does so much damage it's hard to ignore. Moving on, I still take Transfer the Power, but now I'm taking Swen's Bond. This got reworked, and now it's reducing Swen by 30 seconds, and it increases its damage by 30%. So it's actually a decent talent now. You can also, instead of Swen's Bond, go Memory of the Monastery if you want. And you can also go Dual Threat instead of Rising Star or another talent, as this is also decent. I think we're going to be going a two-hander next season, as the weapon enchants are not going to get upgraded. So that's why I'm going Rising Star instead of Dual Threat. Otherwise, I would probably be in Dual Threat. Anything else to take in is we could be playing Last Imperious Capacitator with Power of the Thunder King. That increases your Cracking Jade Lightning, so it does around like 50 to 60% of someone's health in that cost. So it's a really huge button when you stack it up and you get it off. But there's a long rebrand time up to it, and in most shuffles you probably won't get it off. So most of the time it's not worth it. If you're playing in threes and it's longer games, you could take it against casters or something you have a hard time to get to, for example mages, then it could be very beneficial. But this is what I'm rocking with currently. This is what feels best for me. And I could swap out Swen's Bond for Memory of the Monastery, I could go in Dual Threat, and I could take Last Imperious Capacitator with Power of the Thunder King. Otherwise, I wouldn't really swap anything out. Last season, we went with Rushing Jadewind because it applied a stack of Thunderfist on every target. It doesn't do that anymore. Mark of the Crane is gone, so we don't have to worry about it. So this talent is pretty much useless, as it doesn't really do any damage. So yeah, that's it for the normal talents. Let's go down to PvP talents. So a little bit has changed here. We still go Turbo Fist, Disarm, and Rising Dragon Sweep. These are still really, really strong, but now a new player is entered, and that's Absolute Serenity. So previously, Absolute Serenity only stopped Incapacitate and other small CCs, but now they reworked it so it's all crowd control that gets stopped. So you basically are completely immune when casting Conduit, which also opens the option for defensive plays with Conduit or other outplays, which is really cool. So I play this button almost all the time. Every time I can get away with it, I play it. Another talent I've gotten into lately is Wind Waker. So I use this talent a lot if I'm fighting mages or something that's gonna spam rope me and I'm gonna have a hard time to get to. I'm gonna use this talent. But yeah, we have 5 talents, PP talents that's really good, so it can be very hard to choose. Okay, let's now go over the burst rotation for Conduit with our new ability Slicing Winds and the new thing that's been added. So first off, you can build up your hit combo to 10 and build your transfer the power up if you want the maximum burst. For the first goal, I normally just like do it as quick as I can, so I don't build it up that much. But let's say we have it now. So what do we do to go? I will Tiger Palm, Images, Strike into Conduit. I'll slice off this into Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, Knock Up, Spin, Blackout Kick, Rising Sun Kick, Blackout Kick, Spin, and then just go on. And we can see now my Strike the Windlord is up again. I have another set of images, and my Slicing Winds is getting up in 10 seconds. So I'll use my images, I'll Strike, I'll Fist, and my Slicing Wind is going to be up, so I do it off. So the next go is also pretty good lined up with a lot of damage. So you have two goes pretty quickly after each other that is just packed with damage. And that's the good thing about Windwalker Monks now is every single time we strike the Windlord, we get a fast spin. And fast spin is just a lot of damage in a very quick time. With Transfer the Power and or tier sets that's going to increase Fist of Fury, it's going to be huge amounts of damage. Okay, now let's go over some of the macros that I recommend. Personally, I both use Focus and Party 1, 2, and 3 and Arena 1, 2, and 3, so I mix it up with what I feel is necessary. I have Disable, for example, on Focus 1, 2, 3. I have Vivify on Party 1, 2, 3, and I have Kick on Focus as well. I have Tiger's Dust on Party 1, 2, 3. Paralysis on Party 1, 2, 3. On my mount, I have Cancelor for Blessing of Freedom, Protection, Time Stop, and Pet Dismiss. So if I need to get those off quick, if there is a mage that can steal them, or my pet's gonna break some CC, I'm gonna do that. I have Paralysis, Arena 1, 2, and 3. I would definitely recommend getting this. And also getting Tiger's Loss, as those are probably the most like important Arena 1, 2, and 3. And Party 1, 2, and 3. You can get away with Focus, Disable, and Focus Kick. You don't really need more than that. Otherwise, I have Disable as well on Arena 1, 2, 3. I would recommend that as well. On my Rising Sun Kick, I have my Arena Pet Provoke, just so it goes over to that target. Oh, target leap down here. I provoke the pets so they go on me. On my Ceph, I have just some modifiers so it does more damage. And these are just simple trinket ones. But yeah, those are the macros I use. Nothing crazy, but we go with both Focus, Arena 1, 2, and 3, and Party 1, 2, and 3. Now let's talk about some add-ons, or specifically one add-on, because I'm sure you've heard about a bunch of add-ons you need and what you don't need and all that. So I'm just going to focus on one specifically for Windwalker Monks. You can use this on a bunch of other classes too, but it's really beneficial for Windwalker Monks, and it's probably my most used add-on, and it's called Tell Me When. So Tell Me When lets you track different buffs and abilities, and you can see down here I am currently tracking Transfer the Power, so I can transfer or I can track those stacks. I track Heart of the Jade Serpent, so I know when I have that Fast Fist of Fury available. And I track the Imperious Capacitator, so I know how many stacks there is of my Crackling Jade Lightning, and so on. And down here, I just have a little bit of buttons that helps me with awareness. So I have my Vicious Vivification every 10 seconds. It's here. This is just telling me when I have my Ceph up, and this tells me when I have Freedom. Additions tells me with the Wisdom of the Wall, this was with Shadowpan. So you can see here, if I attack this, my Transfer the Power goes up. If I use my Strike the Windlord, this comes up, and I can see when I have my Fast Fist of Fury. So just trackers like these are actually a huge deal with awareness, so I definitely recommend getting this. So that was it for my Windwalker Monk guide for PvP in patch 11.1. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time, boys. Peace out.